Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. And today I bring you a wonderful Longines. Now, when I saw this watch for sale on the Francis & Gay website, I was instantly attracted to it. Military issue and looked ready for action. Trouble was, though, I knew it was a bad idea to get them to send it to me because it would make me upset. Now, over the last 5-6 years, Longines have done a great job to, I don't know, tick the Tudor boxes. Longines seem to now have references that sort of compete with them now. You don't want a Black Bay 58? Well, you have this. You don't want a Black Bay GMT? You have this. You don't want a Tudor Ranger? You have this. And even though Longines has a significantly deeper history and contribution to the world of wristwatch horology, they do seem to be playing the market. But sometimes they come out with reissues where you go, no one was crying out for this to be reissued, and so for that, you gotta give them big props. And in 2023, they did actually, in fact, bring back a watch that was first reissued back in 1935 to the Czechoslovakia Air Force. And 2 years on, they came out with the same watch, but in titanium. And that is the one I'm showing you today. Anyway, I've got to say a huge thank you to Francis & Gay Jewelers. They sent this watch into me, and they are an authorized dealer of Longines and many, many other fantastic Swiss, Japanese, German, you name it brands, always competitive on price, always top customer service, and that's why for the last 4 or 5 years, I've recommended them to you guys. But without further ado, let's show you this beast, get the wife's opinion at the end, and you don't want to miss that, and let's take you on a Czechoslovakian journey to Trip Out City, Air Force style. Are you Magitech ready? Let's go. So ladies and gentlemen, before your eyes, we have the Longines Magitech Pioneer Limited Edition. And is this a goddamn awesome looking watch or what? For my eyes anyway. Now this creation is made of grade 5 titanium. Grade 5 is what you want because it's tougher than steel and 30% lighter. And the lightness you're gonna need with this watch because it's a big beast. But with grade 5 comes polishing. You can't do that with grade 2. And I have to say, this is an absolute work of art. Not only the case design, but the polishing on this beautifully sort of coin edgy bezel, chamfers on the case, steps to the lugs. The polishing is magnificent. Beautiful crown that matches the knurling on the bezel. We have this 1935 plate that is sunken in to the case. This watch is only limited to 1,935 pieces, and it signifies when the watch was issued to those Czech pilots. The amazing thing about titanium, it makes military looking watches look more military, more stealthy, but it just feels like a war prop from a neo-vintage, retro, futuristic world in a film, and I'm absolutely smitten over it. Quick spec check! So, here comes the depressing part for me. The original, back in 1935, was a big watch. For those times, it was 41 millimeters in diameter. This, for some strange reason, Longines decided to give this a case diameter of 43. It's 13.6 millimeters thick, has a lug-to-lug of 51.2 millimeters, and a lug width of 22. So yes, almost certainly this watch is not going to suit my 6.5-inch wrist. But there will be many guys out there with more substantial girths of a wrist that this watch may suit quite well. Anyway, we have a beautifully boxed sapphire domed crystal protecting this ashy grey dial. Beautiful big crown is screwed in, and we have a screw plated case back on the back, and that gives this watch 100 meters of water resistance, which is pretty darn cool. The not so cool thing comes with the strap. Now it's well made. It's this textile fabric strap with soft calf skin on the inside. However, from the lugs to I'd say about 2 centimeters, so 20 mils, it's stiff as a board. It's only when it finishes this part does it start to bend. And it's not going to matter whether you have a 9-inch wrist or 7. This ain't gonna feel nice. Why they couldn't make it supple and soft from the start, I do not know, but for me, that's a huge letdown. But on to a nice thing, the bezel. Beautiful to look at and lovely to operate. Now, back in the old days, the original, the crystal would be connected to the bezel and it would all turn at the same time. Not with modern technology. The bezel moves on its own and it is friction, but there is a little ratchet to it, which is lovely. I don't know if you can hear it. It's bi-directional, it's an approximation of timing, quite rudimentary with this upside down triangle that we can keep at 12 o'clock. But on the fidgeability scale, this has an 8, you know. Super! Okay, let's look at the face. Dial time. And for me, this is right up my alley. It's a work of art. What is essentially quite a simple looking dial. Longines has brought it to the modern days. Each numeral marker is raised just to give it some dynamism. We have the running seconds hand subdial, just slightly sunken in. Love the railroad track that's going around the outside. That gives me British military vibes. Very simple handset, but an exquisite dial.
Could you just click that like button, please? It really helps the channel. Thank you.
So we got lume on the hands, lume on the markers, and lume on the bezel pip that's inside that dial. Out of 10, how much does this puppy glow? So, Swiss Superluminova, and I've got to say, I've never seen lume come out of grey markers before. And to be fair, pretty good, isn't it? So powering this quirky legend is an in-house caliber L893.6, which is based on an ETA 2890. It has 72 hours of power reserve. It's automatic, sweeps at a very unusual 21,200 beats per hour. It's not unusual for the Swatch group, but still, it's COSC certified. It's a very refined, very well made movement. And operating the watch, where it's magnificent because of this big crown. Pull it out to its only position, small seconds hand stops, we have hacking, set the time, push it in, screw it back in, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and away we go.
Hello.
On my 6.5-inch wrist, and I'm depressed. Not only because from lug to lug, it does look a bit big on me, but also that strap, it's so uncomfortable because it's so stiff. I'd love to know if there's anyone out there that own this watch that have kept it on this strap. Seems like a bit of an awful decision by Longines. Now, there was a small part of me that hoped this was gonna look okay because that secret dimension of the dial size sometimes can make a watch fit any size wrist. Now, believe it or not, the 38mm Erebus I reviewed recently has a bigger dial size to this 43mm. Unfortunately for me, well, not unfortunate for my wallet, it's just that little bit too big. But if this watch was actually the size of the original 41mm and had a lug to lug of say 48 to 49, this may already be sitting in the watch box. So there we go, the Longines Magitech Pioneer Limited Edition. What do you think? To buy it brand new on the Francis & Gay website, it's £4,600. That's a lot of cheddar. It is, but listen, we've got Longines, huge history, bringing back an old model from 1935 in grade 5 titanium with finishing at the most highest of standards with a pretty top Swiss movement inside and the fact it's only limited to 1,935 pieces around the world. I mean, yes, it's still expensive, but still, I think this is an absolute work of art. It's just a shame it just doesn't fit on my wrist. And Longines, sort out your straps. So here it is, my wife's views on the Longines Magitech Titanium. Oh, this is horrible. What's up with the ring around the face? Looks like a centipede. It's ugly, dull, and boring. For anyone that owns this Magitech Titanium, don't take it to heart, you know. She actually loves military watches, so I was a little bit surprised with that, but it is a big beast, an acquired taste, and not one that the wife likes. Thank you so much to Francis and Gay for sending this watch in. If you want to support the Mad Watch Collector any further, we've got a Patreon now. See the shows early, behind the scenes footage, blooper reels, private group chat, and get your name credited at the end of every show like this amazing lot. They're phenomenal. But if I've got you here for a few more minutes, and I hope I have, why don't you check out some more lovely watches I got from the Francis and Gay website. Go on, you'll love it. Go on, click it. Come on. Come on, I haven't got all day. Come on. Maybe I have. No, I do have stuff to do. Come on. Click it. Please. Click, click, click it!